You're watching Kruger Nation Horror Movie Reviews. I'm back, bitches, and today I'm going to talk to you about 1987's My Demon Lover from New Line Cinema. This movie stars Scott Valentine and Michelle Little. It's about a woman who has no luck with relationships. In fact, it starts off where she's getting robbed by her current boyfriend and still doesn't seem to get the picture. She then meets Kaz, a street musician who turns out to be a demon whenever he gets horny. It was a curse placed on him when he was a teenager because, I guess, the girl he was fooling around with, his grandmother was some kind of black magician? I don't know. Didn't really explain that too much. But she put a curse on him and he turns into a demon. So Denny wants to get close to Kaz, but Kaz doesn't want to because there's a string of mutilations in town, and he thinks that whenever he blacks out and turns into a demon, that he's the one killing all the random people in town. I'd also like to point out that this guy must be horny all the time because he turns into a demon like non-stop throughout this movie. Denny is not buying the story. She thinks she's just landed another jackass boyfriend, and at this point Kaz dares her to turn him on. And he turns into a demon, a freakishly bald, ogre-looking demon. And he kind of shapeshifts, but not like into animals or anything. He shapeshifts from like person to person. So it's like multiple demons, I guess, in him. It doesn't really explain a whole lot of that, but I will say this, the special effects in this are pretty awesome. The practical effects, and the CGI kind of computer effects from the 80s, they're very cool for back then, but they're not great. They're just kind of neat. And I know this movie isn't really horror, but it's kind of like a romantic comedy with horror tendencies. You know, he is a demon, and there are several scenes where, you know, it has a little bit, I wouldn't call it gore, because this is PG-13, but it's like, there's one scene where he turns into this old woman, and Denny rushes him in the kitchen and puts her hands through the old woman's head, and it's just this gooey, yellow, nasty shit that comes out of her head. It's gross. And I said this was a romantic comedy. The comedy in this, some of it works, most of it doesn't. And it doesn't really start becoming a decent movie until about an hour in, so you can only get about 30 minutes of a decent movie. The IMDb score for this is a 3.9, and that's about right. This movie's not great, but it's worth at least one watch. So it's not currently available on DVD. You can buy it on Amazon on VHS for like $2, $3, something like that, or you can just watch it on YouTube. It's on YouTube in 9 different parts, and the quality's awesome, so check it out on there if you get a chance. I actually watched this movie based on a recommendation. Someone told me that if I enjoyed Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, that I would enjoy this movie. I have no idea where the comparison is between the two. Maybe that's like a possession story, I don't know. That's the only parallel that I could draw from the two movies. And that's My Demon Lover from 1987. That's all I have for this episode of Kruger Nation, but I will be coming to you guys more often, and I apologize again for the hiatus, but I am back, bitches. So until next time, Kruger Nation, peace.